Hello, my royal people. How you doing? How you doing? I am your host, Dr. G. This is DL Gidron here on Living Single Podcast. And this podcast is for singles who are satisfied, singles who are searching. It's for couples who are unmarried, couples who are married to come and share their experience, their perspective to a series of questions that I have. Everybody's response is going to be different because everybody's experience, everybody's perspective is different. And so this gives us an opportunity to have a platform, have a vehicle that we could tap into, get some tips, get some tools, and, hopefully begin to transform by renewing our minds based on something we gain and we learn from someone else and their experience. And so that's why we're here. And that's why I'm so glad to have this special guest with us today, a mighty, mighty, mighty woman of God. Just watch her, follow her, you'll see she's a mighty woman of God. And so I'm glad to have her here today. This is our second broadcast, our second episode. So let's get right on into it. Please tell your name, introduce yourself, and tell us how old you are.
Okay, my name is Lisa Coleman, and I am 55 years old.
55 years old. And what is your status? Are you single, looking, married? What's up?
Well, my status is widowed and single and looking while looking.
All of that. All of that. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. Listen, all of that. Now, where do you fit in here? Awesome. Well, I know with the years that you have just your own life and then the years of being married, you got some nuggets to share tonight. And I've been looking forward to this interview, and I appreciate you so much
No problem. I appreciate you asking me to come on. I appreciate that.
Yes. Well, let's just jump right on into it with our first question. We got 9 questions.
Okay.
First question is, what are some red flags that single people should never ignore?
The biggest red flag that single people should never ignore is miscommunication. When someone tells you something and they ignore that they told you that, and they're inviting, say someone invited you to go somewhere for the 4th of July.
Okay.
And they told you in June. So you've ignored every other plan for this person to do what you're going to do for the 4th of July. Well, on the 3rd of July, they changed their mind the night of the 3rd of July. And you've missed every plan that you could have done that you're normally doing every year for this person, but because they changed their mind, you're out of the limelight. You no longer have a place to go. That's not a big red flag, but it's big enough to know that this person can't communicate to you early enough for you to be able to respectfully, so that you may be able to say, okay, well, we can do something else, or I can come up with something else, or something like that. It's irresponsible communication. Just let me know ahead of time if you don't want to do it, if you're going to change your mind or something like that. That's a big red flag. Watch the communication. Communication is big because people talk in circles. Mm-hmm. They don't always mean what they say. Mm-hmm. They'll tell you things to get what they want, to benefit you. And if they know you well enough, they'll know what language you speak, and they'll speak your language just to get it. So you have to be careful. Ask God for discernment, especially when you see the communication going awry, because communication is very, very simple. It's just yes, no, I am, I won't. Very simple.
Real simple. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good. And that's your main red. That's the main red flag that you would
Well,
that you
I say that's the main red flag because in order for anybody to bond in any relationship, you first have to communicate.
communicate. Got to communicate. That's
Got to.
good.
Mhm.
That's good. That's good. And in today's time, communication is done in so many different ways. I think you got to be on the same page as to how we communicating. Are we texting communicating? Are we phone communicating? Face to face is like so many different ways. One way is better for one person than another. You got to communicate. How are we going to communicate?
That's a very good point because at 55, I
Right.
don't like to communicate by text. It irks me. And if someone wants to communicate me, if I have to text too much, I'm going to call. And if they don't answer the phone, I'm immediately irked again. I'm like, okay, we're having a conversation by text. Why can't we just talk? So yeah, you're absolutely right. It's the way, and you have to be able to communicate that to someone else. Well, I don't like to text.
Right.
Well, I'll text sometimes, but I don't like to text dissertations. If I have to, I don't want to text a dissertation to someone. I want to say it.
Yes, 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 yes. I feel you. I feel you. And that's the thing. That's the thing of now. And people need to communicate that to the person instead of being annoyed by it and telling other people about it. You know,
Right.
tell that person and see if you can come to, because maybe we're gonna get into that. Maybe that's a deal breaker. But because if you got somebody, that's how they communicate frequently and better or more comfortably. If that's a problem for you, then maybe the relationship might be a problem.
Yeah, it's going to be a deal breaker for me. I've done it. I've cut people off because they wouldn't talk to me on the phone.
Moving on to the second question. What are some difficulties and challenges that you've seen for being single in today's time? Because it's different than it used to be. And so what are some of the difficulties and challenges you've seen being single in today's time?
Ooh, well, I can only speak from my experiences.
Right.
My challenges are just getting someone to relate. I can't seem to relate to anyone. either they're just not on the same page, or I don't understand where they're coming from. And I'm not a faker. I'm not going to pretend as if I understand where you're coming from and be happy and then be confused later. I'm gonna be confused right there, and until I get some clarity, then I can move on. But if I never get clarity, that's a challenge to me. It's not being able to relate to anybody. But you know what? My name is Lisa. You have to know me. Relating to me, I think totally different than the average person. So if I spark with somebody, it is great. But if I don't, so with me and men now, in my age now, I'm having a hard time relating with people because they're nowhere near in the thought processes that I think they should have, and I'm not willing to go down a rabbit hole trying to help them figure out what thought process they should have.
Right. Wow. And you said something because after you've had experience in life, and once you gotten to a certain age and stage in life, it's like, am I willing to deal with that, go through that, and that thing makes it difficult for you if that's all you're seeing,
Right.
while you're single. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you think about deal breakers, and do you have any?
Well, I told you my first deal breaker is texting.
Yeah, that's the deal breaker. You did make mention other than texting.
Okay. Another deal breaker to me is unless you make it clear to me we're dating exclusively or we're seeing other people and not telling me. I need to know what I'm up against. I need to know if you're looking for a relationship or are you looking to just serial date? Because there's some serial daters out here.
Uh-huh.
And I'd like to know that up front. That would be nice. And I can deal with that. I actually can deal with that. But it would be so very awkward to be out with someone and they haven't told you that they're dating other people and we run into another person that they're also dating and they haven't told you. That's a deal breaker. I need honesty. I just need you to be honest with me. Whatever you're doing, just be honest. It's okay. We're people. It's okay. Just say it. I'm seeing other people and I'll say, okay, because I understand it's dating. It's not commitment. It's dating. You trying to see who fits best with you. Yeah. So that's a deal breaker for me.
Yeah. You're saying just let me know. Let me choose, but give me the information. Let me know exactly what I'm dealing with, what vehicle I'm riding in.
Yeah, because people are not mentally stable out here nowadays. I don't need no eggs thrown at me because I'm sitting at a table with you having a conversation, and the girl said, "Hey, he dating just me," and she come over to the table. She want to throw some eggs. I can't take that. I'm way too old for that. Right? You can have them. It's okay. You can have them, but that's a deal. That would be a deal breaker. I would just, if it happened, I would just say, yeah, he told me about you. Your name's Tracy, right? Yeah, I know you. You're good. You're good. Yeah. But
hey Tracy.
Like, hey Tracy.
Wow, I love it. I love it. So what you're saying is that you could, even if you know this is a serial dater, you don't mind because you understand what we're doing here.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. When you're dealing with people, you can't take away their will like God won't take away their will.
Right.
So I'm okay with that. It's okay. Just let me know because I might be a serial dater too. I might have an arsenal myself. You never know.
Arsenal. Ricky, Billy, Mike. Okay, Ronnie. I got you. And honestly, but and because like you said, you are, in order to find a mate, you got to date.
That's exactly right.
You got to date to find a mate. Yeah. Okay, moving on. You've heard this before, especially being a woman of God, that a woman is a helpmate to a man. What does that mean to you when you hear a woman is a helpmate, and do you see that in today's society?
Good question. A woman is a helpmate. She is very integral in helping her mate to make good decisions for them, helping her mate build a home and a family, helping her mate come to conclusions when he's confused about maybe his career or maybe which direction he wants to go in his career. A woman is a helpmeet in a lot of different ways. I love men. I love that they're the head. I like that, but they don't always have the complete thought process together. That's where the woman comes in. And I hate to say this, but a man can be a helpmate too. When you think about it, because there are things that women can't think of for themselves that men can, and they can help their mate. But the woman, I understand. The woman is the helpmate. I do believe that. And do I see that in society today? In some places, in the older couples, yes, I see that a lot. I see a lot of sacrificing. I see it. I see a lot of marriages where the woman is willing to sacrifice her time to help her husband, or the husband is willing to sacrifice his time to help his wife, especially with illnesses. That's the one thing that having a mate is great for. When you one of the partners walk into an illness, somebody's going to have to pick up the slack and take care of the mate.
Wow.
So yeah, I see it in society today. I'm not too tuned in on these young relationships, so I can't speak on them. I would like to hope that they are. I hope they're going to church. I hope that someone's talking to them. I hope they're seeking God or seeking something that would help them in a relationship, because relationships are not just about you. It's a two-party thing.
There you go. There you go. And that's the thing about when you're being single, is that when you decide not to be single anymore, you're no longer having a single mind. You know, you're no longer just thinking about just you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And are you willing to give that up?
Yeah, but people have to understand, going from a singlehood to a relationship it's a process. If you've been alone for 10 years and then you just get into a relationship and you go out and get a bag of popcorn, you might just think about yourself the first 2 times.
Right.
Give them a chance. He'll catch up. Or give her a chance. She'll catch up. Yeah. Because when a relationship matters to someone,
that's good.
They're going to do what's in their heart to do. And they might forget in the beginning. They might forget. They just might forget. I mean, we're human. We're human.
Give a little mercy. Give a little grace. Yeah.
Give a little grace, like God give us every day. Lord have mercy. I'm gonna need that grace. Yeah. But absolutely.
That's good. I like that. You know, to understand that because you can tell that they're really in, but they may just have forgotten to do that. They're so used to just getting their own bag of popcorn.
Right, exactly.
Right,
I've seen people really take a bad attitude because they weren't thought about the first time.
Right.
And I thought it very odd that they would expect a person to think about them when they hadn't been there all along.
Oh!
Just say it. Just say, you forgot about me. Did you forget about me? Or I wanted some too. And they'll be like, oh my God, I forgot about you. I'm sorry. And it probably won't ever happen again, but you got to give a person a chance.
Right.
You got to, we just expect so much out of people, and people are just people. Give them a chance. Our brains have to catch up with what we're doing, what we haven't been doing, for what we've been doing for so long. And now we're not doing that anymore. It's got to catch up.
That part.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. That's some good stuff right there. I like that. And just real quick before going to the next question, because what happens is a lot of times you got other people in your ear. He did that. She did that. They didn't do that. And before you can actually gel with them and get to know them, they don't really know you like that enough to know, or you hadn't been around, like you said, as long enough for you to just be their next thought yet, you know, automatically kind of thing. Yeah. Awesome. I love that. We talked about the woman, now the man. What are your thoughts about a man being a provider and a protector? What does that mean to you for a man to provide and protect?
If I can speak about my deceased husband, he was a provider. He was not a protector. Okay. He was a provider. Everything I wanted, everything I needed, everything I could ask for, I could get. But protection is more than in one fold. It's not just making sure that your wife is okay, that she made it home safely, that her car works, that the kids won't get harmed. You got to protect her heart too. You got to protect her heart. So a lot of men miss it. They think that buying guns to secure the home is going to make a woman feel safe, or they think that buying a new car to ensure that she can get back and forth to where she's going without harming herself or the kids. Of course, you get in the car and get in an accident at any time, but the best scenario in a man's mind to take care of their family is to get the wife a new car, to make sure she don't break down on the side of the road. The tires are not going to need to be serviced anytime soon, things like that. But if you're going to be in a relationship, you also got to protect her heart. And I didn't feel, my heart did not feel protected. I felt open for prey, if you will. And I told her that. I said, I don't feel safe in this relationship because you're not protecting my heart. And all he can say was, well. So I'm going to say this. Ensure that when you're finding a mate, that they have the capacity to love, to give what it is that you need, or otherwise you're not going to feel safe. You're not going to feel protected. Some people just don't have the capacity.
The capacity. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. Now, so to what you're saying, what does that look like for a man to protect the heart, this single man to protect the heart of this person he's dating? What does that look like?
I'm glad you asked.
Okay.
I'm glad you asked. By showing up as the head of that woman, in a sense that whenever any distractions come in, he can knock them down without the woman saying, aren't you going to do this? Case in point, say your husband works at a metro jail facility. He's a corrections officer.
Okay.
And he's the only male in a female prison. So there's a lot of female correctional officers. Okay. So he's looked at as, wow, he's the king. I don't care if he's married or not. He's the king. He's the man around here. I ain't got no man. Everybody, none of the women have a man. The man that will protect your heart, the man that will make you feel safe, will tell every last one of those women, I am married. I don't play. You don't want me to call her and tell her these things that you guys are saying to me because it will not end well. And you need to either respect my relationship or I'm gonna ask to be moved. And every woman will respect that and probably want him more, but they won't mess with him again because he's made up his mind. That's how you protect your woman. That's how you protect your mate. You let any other distractions know, no, I'm in this, and this is where my focus is, and I don't have time for distractions, and I'm not going to go there. And you won't see that. I didn't have that. I didn't have that, but that's okay. I got through it.
Right. Yeah. How long were you married?
I was married for 8 years.
8 years? Okay. I could see what you were saying. I saw the visual of that. It's like there's a fence of protection here. There's a safeguard here where you can't come here. And for her to be aware that he puts up such walls for folk to know, hey, you can't say that, you can't do that, you're crossing lines. That's another form of her feeling protected.
Exactly. And no strange women calling or no. Okay. I picked up my husband asked me one day, hey, could you go get my phone? I wasn't looking for anything. I said, okay. I grabbed the phone, and as soon as I picked it up, it was God. I knew it was God. As soon as I picked it up, I saw, hey, baby. And I was shook because the one thing I didn't say, that I was married for 8 years, but this was my second time being married to the same person.
Okay. So y'all was married before. 8 years total or 8 years the second time?
8 years the second time.
Okay. How long the first time?
4.
Okay. Something allowed you or caused y'all to get back together.
God.
Okay.
We can have that conversation. You make a podcast about it. I'll tell you all about it.
Okay. I got you. I got you. The so this is good because you're you've given a whole nother perspective
Mm-hmm.
on protection.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good because what a man feels he's doing to protect a woman or make a
Mm-hmm.
woman feel protected may not be what she needs completely to feel protected.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's almost like knowing a person's love language.
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah,
right.
so know how. So that's good for any man to be able to say, how can I provide for you and protect you?
Right.
Because it may be different for this person over here, my
Mm-hmm.
last relationship, than it is with this. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love that. Okay. Oh, yeah, I love that. Okay, moving on to the next question. What are qualities that a single person who's looking for a potential mate should never ignore? What are, no, should look for in their potential mate? What are the qualities, characteristics, qualities they should look for in their potential mate?
The first thing you should always look for when you're looking for a mate is that he fears God as you fear God. Ah, that's the first thing you should look for. You should never want to be in a relationship with someone if you fear God and you love God and God is close to your heart. You want somebody just like that, like you in that respect. But other qualities you should look for is one who would be honest with you when it's hard to be.
Honesty. Mm.
Yeah, when it's hard, when hard honesty. You know, I got to tell you this, and I don't have another choice. I'm not going to hide it. I'm going to tell you. You need that honesty. Other qualities you should look for is somebody who wants to include you in their world, not shield you from any of the things that their mom, their friends, their maybe they have children, things like that. If they're hiding you and if you're taking them and you're showing them off to the world and they're not doing that to you, that's a problem. That could very well mean that they hadn't made up their mind about you and they don't want to risk, showing you off to someone that because it may not work out for them. They still hadn't made up their mind. So that's a quality you should look for: somebody who wants to show you off, someone who wants to be with you, who wants to be with you. There are people who want the benefit of you but don't want to be with you.
Wow.
Mm, mm, good stuff. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. That is a quality
Mm-hmm.
of knowing that this person includes me, they invite me, you
Mm-hmm.
know, you know, um, they involve me.
Mm-hmm.
That's a quality to look for, because if you're not getting that, that says something. And
That says a lot.
it could not even be that they are doing something or being evil-minded or whatever. It could just mean, going back to what you said, they don't have the capacity for what you need.
And that'll give you exactly what you need.
To make it. Yeah. That's you're throwing some good stuff up out here. I tell you, man. Yeah. I mean, just a whole different perspective. I'm loving having these different perspectives that people have but it comes because of your backstory, because of your story, your experiences, what you've seen and what you've experienced. Oh, wow. So, and we've hit on this a little bit already. What does it mean to you? You've heard it before when people say, I don't want to settle. I don't want to settle. I'm not going to settle, or I felt like I settled over there. What does it mean to you for a person to settle?
Oh, wow. That's a hard one because people are people. The way I look at people, I look at people as a joy, as God created us all. If I get a chance to meet you, oh my gosh, I'm meeting one of God's creation. That's the way I think. So
Oh,
that's a hard one for me because everybody to me is worth spending time with until they become not worth spending time with.
it was good spending time with you, and now it's not. Until it's not. I love it.
Yeah, because people depict a certain character. The faces that we wear when we're dating. It's always a face. That face comes off after a while. Some people can hide it for a while, and some people can't. They can only hold on to it. Look, the scientists say that the best face can be held for a year.
A year.
One whole year. A mask can be worn by another person. And you're drinking in all these mask things, but you hadn't even gotten to the real character yet. That's why I say it until until.
Yeah. So, you don't feel like you've ever settled in a relationship because you.
I never felt that I have. I felt that I met a person that God wanted me to meet.
To be with.
I gave them my all until
Right.
it was time to disconnect. So for me, the way I think about settling, I don't go out looking for a person who has a six-figure income.
Okay.
I don't go out looking for a person who drives a Maserati. I don't go out looking for. I don't have a list of people that I want to meet and will fit my qualifications. I encounter who God allows me to encounter, and I go from there.
Our first episode was a younger person. She's 30 in her early 30s. And that was one of the things that was talked about as, because that's something that a lot of women look for. That's leading into our next question. Got to have a six-figure income and Maserati or some, fancy vehicle and everything. And you're coming from a whole different energy, whole different vibration. You're not looking for that. You're looking for something more substantial.
Pure. All of us were created by God. I will never know that until I see, and thank God for discernment. Hallelujah. Thank God for discernment, because that's one of the things that I'm betting on when I'm meeting you, that God would discern to me what I'm going to be dealing with in this relationship, if you can't tell me. So with that being said, I don't meet people imagining what they can do for me. I imagine how we can benefit each other. So I don't ever believe when I meet anybody, I'm going to settle. I just let the cards play out. And if they only go so far, then we exit stage left and I go into another one. And I never take one thing from that relationship and take it into another. I leave it right where it is, because we're dealing with another person when I go somewhere else. That's their stuff. And then the other person's stuff they gotta come up with some stuff to show me. But you never take. Settling for me is not a word. It's not a word. I know if I know you're a serial killer, I'm not. No, just because you buy me a teddy bear, no, I'm not going to date you. No.
Right.
But I don't think of it that way. I believe that each and every last one of us has special qualities to us. And I believe each and every last one of us have dark and bad qualities to us. But you'll never know until you get to know the person, and to automatically point fingers at them because they're not doing things the way you would normally do them and call it settling is unfair. because God said he made us fearfully and wonderfully made. So maybe they just not fearfully and wonderfully made for you.
Oh, oh, good. That's good. And it's rich to have that perspective and to be able to put that out in the earth, that it go to nations, so that someone who never heard that right there, never heard it put like that, can hear and begin to, because our words are seed, and a lot of times people are products of all the seeds they've received, and now they've heard your perspective, your view. I love that. Yeah, I love that. Okay, moving on to our last two questions.
Okay.
This one right here is, do you think it's been said that a lot is expected of men? It's unfair. The weight of expectations that's put on men. So do you think that single men have a lot of expectations placed on them that's like really unfair?
Ooh, loaded question. Here it goes.
Okay.
Yes. They're just human too. Yes. They're just human too. They have challenges. They have problems finding jobs. They have issues with illnesses. They have background issues, childhood trauma. We all go through a whole bunch just coming forth as adults in this earth. So to expect a man to be able to be Adonis, if you will, it's really crazy to me. But I do understand that God made man a certain way. I call them protectors, pursuers, and providers. That's what I call them: protectors, pursuers, and providers. They pursue you, they protect you, and they provide for you. The three P's. But if a man can't provide for you fully, that's what the help meet is for. That's where the help comes in. Women should never find themselves pursuing a man. They should never find themselves pursuing a man. So, and the protection, I told you about the protection, but yeah, that's where.
So what you said, a woman should not find herself pursuing a man. Does that mean a woman should not ask a man out for a date? Or a woman should ask a man to marry? They've been dating for a while, should not say, will you marry me? This has been done before. So that's why I'm asking you.
It has, and it's probably worked out in some cases, but that's not, but that's not the natural way that God made it to be done. Okay. And a lot of times what happens in those kind of relationships is when a woman pursues, she becomes the man. She wears the pants. She emasculates the man. And he really can't do anything about it because he was pursued and he wasn't supposed to be pursued. He was supposed to be the pursuer. So when you see relationships where the woman is dominating everything, 9 times out of 10, she pursued him. He didn't pursue her.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay, for our last. Say it again.
I was just saying that's a whole nother issue. That's
Yeah. But I love that. I love that. I've heard, provide, protect, and profess, and over. And so for me, it becomes a 4th P. And you said 3 P is pursue. I'm going to always keep that there. I love that. Okay, so our last question. You've been throwing some stuff out. Yes. I'm appreciating what you've experienced. The last question is, what are your thoughts about a person being self-aware and transparent about their flaws before pursuing a relationship with someone?
I think it's more than fair that you are very transparent and announcing your flaws up front if you know them. Some of us can't articulate our flaws because we hadn't really quite figured it out. But I can articulate mine, and I can be transparent about them. I think it's only fair that you come into a relationship letting the person know. God wouldn't have it any other way. I'll give you a story. When my husband came back, God told me to do it. I had to do it. I didn't have another choice. I wasn't going to, but he was asking me to come back. And I was like, no, the imposition, no, but God said, do it. And I said, okay. So I did it. But the first thing that God told me to do was tell him the truth. He said, tell him the truth. And I was like, he don't deserve the truth. But I did. I told the truth. I smoked marijuana. I still smoke marijuana, Wendell. And that's one of the things that he didn't like about me. I smoke marijuana. And because I told him that, he said to me, I appreciate you telling me that. And I'm gonna do everything I can in my power to help you. Let me know when you're ready to stop. And he did. This time, the last time, it was a problem. It was a huge problem with him, even though he married me knowing that it was a problem with him. He gave me hell about it. But this time he just says, I'll do whatever I can to help you.
Wow.
And I was so afraid to tell that truth. I had to break down crying to tell that truth because I remember the last time. And for God to ask me to do something when I didn't sign up for it, God signed up for it for me. But he's telling me to be honest. It broke me down, but I did it. I was honest, and it worked out. It worked out. So
yeah. Wow. And so you were honest about the flaw, which is a hard thing for a lot of people to do because they think they're gonna lose. So then they lie or they cover up something, camouflage something, but that flaw is always exposed at some point in time.
At some point in time. And then that could be a deal breaker. That could very well mean the end of your relationship for somebody you really, really love and you really care for. And that can cause another set of issues for you. You can get sick, because somebody walked away from you just because you weren't honest, just because you weren't transparent, just because you didn't tell your flaws, just because you didn't do the right thing. Always do the right thing in a relationship because it's not about you. Whatever you do is going to affect someone else. And then whatever y'all do going to affect y'all, either y'all parents or somebody's parents or somebody. It's going to affect somebody. If you get together with someone and you can't pay the mortgage, you guys are going to be affecting someone else's household. And you just need to be honest about things. If you're in major bankruptcy and you've never paid a bill on time and you got issues with finances, tell them up front. Just say it. Don't be ashamed, because at the end of the day, it's going to save your marriage, because they knew before they got with you what problems you had. And they signed up for it. They signed up for it. Now they don't have an excuse. That's what God told me. Now he doesn't have an excuse. At least not with God. Maybe with you, but not with God.
Right. That's good stuff right there. That because you were obedient to God and sharing your flaw with him, as hard as it was for you, but you was honest about it. And that's a good thing for singles to know. All of us got flaws. All of us got baggages. Go ahead. Don't let me find out later you had a child over there.
So no way.
Let me know now about little Billy, And I know it was being raised by your grandmama, but that's your thing, And sometimes people feel like, I think that people feel like there's a time frame to know when to share. So as we wrap this up, when do you think once you know you're going to be dating this person consistently, or just dating the person, you should let them know your flaws?
When you know you're going to commit.
Commit.
Yeah, when you know you're going to commit, because a lot of this stuff ain't their problem in the first place. If you got little Billy over there being raised by grandma, it's probably none of your business that little Billy over there right now. I'm trying to get to know you. Then when we decide we want to get together, now it's probably time to tell them about little Billy.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Go on here and tell them about little Billy. Go on here and tell them. Go on, be honest. Look, there's some things I haven't told you because I didn't know if we was gonna be together, but now I'm gonna tell you because we didn't decide we gonna do this, and I hope you can hang. But this is what's going on with me. But I like to say share early, share often. Because the earlier you share, the less a person has to say. They can't. Now, I said when you commit, but sharing early lets a person get to know everything about you. Now they feel that you're not going to withhold any information from them at all.
Right.
But like I said, that you have to gauge that with the situation you're in.
Right.
You really need to gauge that with the situation you're in, because I don't want to share with Billy Bob that I got $1 million in the bank, and then that's the only reason why he stayed.
Yeah, that'll make you stay now. That'll make some people stay or appear as if they're staying.
That's my point. That's my whole point. But if they don't know that about you up front, then you can finagle that, and they can love you for you. And that money ain't gonna matter no way if they really love you for you.
There you go. There you go. Exactly. I love that. I love that. I love that. That's some good stuff right there. Listen, I appreciate you for being the second guest on Living Single podcast. Listen, you have shared some good stuff and some to be continued stuff. so I'm gonna tell everybody, just stay tuned.
Okay.
Because we ain't heard the last of Lisa Marie Coleman.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So and before we leave, I just want to say that the first episode I was wearing a shirt given to me by Rayshawn Carson, and now this hat right here came from Juneteenth. This is the second year in Atlanta, and second year that it's been a holiday, right? And so I'm wearing it. If anybody out there who watching, if you ever want me to wear a shirt or a hat, or you got something, as long as it's appropriate, send it on. I'm gonna give you a shout out, your business shout out, whatever. But I would love to engage with you by you sending it this way. I'll wear it. And there are also ways that you can be supportive that will be coming up after we end. You can look on the end of this, and you'll be able to see how you can support us, that we continue. This is our second broadcast. I've enjoyed having you, Lisa Marie Coleman, as our second guest. I appreciate you sharing from the nuggets from your experience, from your life. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You've been awesome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Peace and love to everyone.
Amen.